Go crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is OOO City. All the way to the bay, hit the base, feel it. Catch a case cause it's beating up, no Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Catch it all in the frenzy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy.
What's up? What's up? What's good, young people? Welcome to the Scoop. I am excited. I hope everybody is ready for a good show, y'all. We got a packed show tonight. And as you can see, I have not one, but two guest co-hosts tonight. Y'all know Kels is out working, doing her thing, getting her Oprah Winfrey on. And Q is a little under the weather. So I called these two powerful people here to help me out tonight. So first, let me introduce them, and then we're going to get into tonight's show. First, to my immediate, I guess that would be my immediate right on the screen, is author and speaker, Miss Tori Lynn from Oklahoma City. She is the author of not one, but two books y'all gotta get if you haven't. The first is The Divorce Was First, correct? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yep, which was y'all like, whoa, you pick that up. And then she turned around and then messed us up even more by writing a second book called Taboo, which the name says exactly what it is. So for tonight's topic, Tori is the perfect person to be here to talk about this. So I'm glad to have you here tonight, Tori. Then next to Tori, y'all saw him a couple of weeks ago. He is no stranger to the Scoop Nation. He is educational, technical guru, master of all things. My bro from back in the day. Let's see, what a host of two podcasts, Still Caking with the Queen, and
see what had happened.
See what had happened.
Yeah.
So much. See what had happened. This is Andre Dowdy. Y'all welcome them both to the show. So Tori, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
So glad you are here. Yes. And Dre, how are you today, sir?
Man, I can't complain. We work in spring break. So yeah, spring break.
Yeah. Yeah, Tree says my first two college rubies. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dre. So
what up, Tree? Exactly. Hey, I'm the one that named them Tree too, man. I don't know how many people know that, but they were, we in Langston University's band, and the old heads are supposed to name the crabs, the freshmen coming in. I mean, they was giving him some whack names, like some names I knew that was gonna stick like forever. And I was like, nah, man, he tall like a tree, so let's just call him Tree. So man, I bailed him out on that because he was gonna get. I mean, them names were not nice, not at all. So shout out to Tree, man.
What's up, Tree? Yeah, that's my homie. That's the homie. So Yeah, so we got a good show tonight. And for those of you guys who don't know, we are an interactive show. So that means number one, hit the share button and invite your friends. Number two, that means throughout these topics, we need to hear your your comments. So y'all type your comments, as you can see, we'll bring them on the screen. We interact, so y'all put your comments on the screen. We got some really good hot topics and some really good topic tonight. So before we get in the show, let me remind you, of course, you can follow us on all social media. So you can follow us on, I'm trying to stall, hold on, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, at YouTube at The Scoop Show, and on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. So that way you don't miss anything. Again, that is on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, and on Instagram you can follow us at The Scoop Radio Show. And of course, tonight, as every night, Hot Topics is brought to you by Bob Shamrock. So Bob Shamrock is owned, of course, by our own Kels Johnson, where you can pull up and fill up, where you can get your gas and get your stomach filled. So Bob Shamrock is found at 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City. Again, it's Bob Shamrock at 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So, yeah. So y'all go pull up and fill up. Get your gas full, get your stomach full, and Bob Shamrock over and tell Kels that the Scoop fam sent you. So,
and Winfrey, man, I went over there. When I tell you prime location.
Absolutely.
Man, they are right next to the State Fair. So imagine if the State Fair opens this year, it is literally on that corner.
It's on the corner.
So imagine when that State Fair opens, and they prime real estate this year.
Yep.
And we went in, wife and I went in, and you know, of course, got to support Kelly and going in and got to meet some of her family who were there. And it's a really nice place. You all gotta go in and check that out. Real talk.
Yep. And listen, I'm if you didn't see the before, like the after looks good, but when you see the before and then you see the after, you like this is really Jesus turning water into wine up here. That place was, that place before.
Okay.
So definitely big shout out to Kels and to Dale for the work that they have put into that location. So, laughing at tree. So let's go ahead and jump into these hot topics. Yeah, this first one threw me. I'm not gonna lie to you. This first one threw me, but it's a sign of the time. So here we go. Sign of the time. So, first hot topic is men opening doors for women is a symbol of aggressive patriarchy. Men are saying, you may enter or leave this place, but only on my say-so. A man opening and holding a door for a woman is him subconsciously reminding her that all men are in control of a woman's choices. So I believe in, so I hope this isn't a sign of aggressive patriarchy, but I'm going to go at the ladies first. So, Tori, can you help me? What are your thoughts on that? Is holding the door in the sign of aggressive patriarchy that says you can enter?
I don't know if you saw my live yesterday, but I went out on a date on Sunday. And not only did he not open the door, but the one time he finally did pull the chair out, I was going to sit in and he was like, oh, I'm sitting here. So
wait, he did what?
Yeah, let me lean in already. What?
He pulled the chair out. Oh, I went live yesterday about it because I was like, did I do something wrong? But he pulled the chair out. And when he pulled the chair out, I go to sit in it. And he was like, oh, I'm sitting here. I have like a laundry list of things that went wrong that night. Oh, he's blocked. I was like, oh my gosh.
Can I ask a question? Was he Generation Z? Like, is he a 70s, 80s baby? Is he a millennial?
Yeah, we're like I think we were the same age. I think he was like 45. I mean, I think we were the same age. Yeah. It was a date from hell. It really was.
I saw a part of the live. I didn't watch it all, but Dre, okay, what are your thoughts? Go ahead. Let me let you go.
Man, this got me frustrated because I consider myself a gentleman. I consider myself someone being raised with some common sense, as you know, the grand folks would say. And anytime you see a woman, whether she's carrying like her children and the babies or whatever it is, like you open the door, you allow them time to push through. Or if you're from the street, the street, they used to say, you open the door and then when they walk by, you look at the booty. But whatever it is, you are opening the door for them. And for me to read this, I'm like, I'm doing what? I'm what? My mind, yeah, man. I hate it.
So you said, okay, so you know how you just said when she walks by, that's when you get a little sneak peek of the booty, right?
Yeah, that's the streets. But yeah.
Okay. So in this case, I went to the restroom because the tank top I had on was showing my bra in the back. So I went to the restroom and I adjusted it so it could pull down a little bit. When I got back and sat back down, I realized it was still kind of shorting in the front. So instead of just going all into it, I did, how you just kind of do this.
Yeah.
And that was it. So he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I think it was a crumb or something in my shirt. Dude goes to reach inside of my bra. It was a nightmare from hell. I mean, it was a date from hell. Are you on an assignment from Satan? I can laugh now.
I've been looking around for the cameras, like, am I being punked?
Yes, it was one of like, am I being punked? From the moment when he got into it with the Uber driver, to not pulling out the doors, to going to reach for my bra. At one point he was eating, I don't know why my Bluetooth keep disconnecting. At one point he was eating, I had ordered, like an appetizer because I'm on a keto diet. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna cheat today. I'm gonna get an appetizer. And it had the keto cheese in it, but it had steak and shrimp in it. Well, he ordered a dish and it had a lot of onions in it, right? But when you first get there and they bring you the cheese and the queso, the queso and the chips. So I was eating that and I'm like, probably embarrassingly eating it all because I'm cheating on my keto. He started digging the onions out of his bowl and started throwing it in the queso where I was eating.
Okay,
it was every time I thought it wasn't going to get any worse, it just kept getting worse.
Okay, so here I'm gonna ask what Tree, because I'm with Tree on this one, even though this ain't the topic. How did you meet him? Like what? How did you decide to go on a date?
Facebook.
So you met him. I mean, and so he didn't. You couldn't get any of those. Like he didn't tip his hand that this was the type of person he was before.
No, absolutely not. I mean, it was on Facebook, so when he got in town, he called me. He was like, "Hey, you want to go catch Top Golf?" And I was like, "Oh, cool." So it wasn't like we just been knowing each other or dating on the phone or dating online. It was something like, let's meet up. I'm in Atlanta, let's meet up. So it was a kind of situation like that. Hey, you want to go to Top Golf? It was like that,
Yeah. And that's such a safe date. Like you shouldn't be catching L's during Top Golf. Like we're meeting up there,
right?
Open the door for them. They walk in, y'all swing some golf balls. Like that's
so we didn't get into Top Golf because it was an hour and a half wait. So he was like, okay, well, let's sketch an Uber to go to the restaurant around the corner. And that's how we ended up at the restaurant.
Okay.
So it was just a nightmare because every time I thought it was just kind of laughable to me.
I can't get anywhere
because I know my old person and Winfrey, you're in my book. I mean, I've been in jail because of a temper. So my mind was just thinking, maybe, I'm tripping, maybe, am I being punked, or is this some kind of test, or is this a test about am I still that girl that would kind of go off, or have I softened too much now that I've become a parent?
Yeah. Fellas definitely took an L on this one. We took an L on this. Especially like Topgolf, there's an opportunity to open the door. Leaving Topgolf, getting inside of the Uber, that's an opportunity to open the door. Going inside the restaurant, that's like you get 3 chances to redeem whatever other trash stuff that he was doing before then. I'm so sorry.
It was like an assignment from Satan.
I think
the devil.
So I think
like who sent you?
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. I think that your scenario and this question as a whole speaks to where this line of where is chivalry? What happened to gentlemen? What happened to and I want to partially, kind of what we talked about last. I want to blame this in part on the lack of R&B music and the lack of being raised and the lack, there's just culturally, it just seems like we are conditioning ourselves to not, to just not really valuing one another sometimes, and it's bad. It's bad, and I think the disappointing part is when you say he's like 40, he's around your age, so that means he was around during the 90s R&B. Yeah. He was there for Jodeci and the one.
Yes, he was there for Al Green. He was there for Guy. He was there.
So
there's no excuse.
The tough part in this, because like Winfred said, there are two sides. Both of them are to the extreme. And I agree, like Trent said in the comments, Trent Smith's like, man, this is real out here. There are times that you open the door, lady,
y'all see in the comments,
and they don't say thank you. You walk in, expecting it. So I do get it from that point. I've never ever in my life heard it from this perspective. So Winfred, what are your thoughts on this? Like, stop opening the doors? Do we keep going? Like, what do we do?
I think we keep doing it. I mean, my thinking is I'm going to keep doing it. Now, I will say that, what was that? I was somewhere recently and was about to do something. And in my mind, I thought, wait, am I supposed to still do this? In my mind for a second, I was like, am I supposed to? It was I was getting on an airplane, and I'm used to, if you're especially a sister, you're around me and you got to put your bag up. I'm used to, hey, I get it. Don't worry about it. But I was watching and I was like, do you want me to get it? Do you want me to get that? She was like, oh, sure. But in my mind, I was like, don't say that, leave her alone, because I don't want to be accused of patriot. You know what I mean? So I was like, but I flinched, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that as a culture that my attempts to be nice or caring, it's nothing, not saying you're weak, not saying you couldn't, not saying you shouldn't, but I got it. Yeah. I got it. So I'm gonna, my thing is I'm gonna keep doing it. If you go off on me, you just go off on me. That's fine. Yeah.
I'm hoping that the good outweighs the bad, because educator, you do travel, and your airplane wasn't spot on. Man, I was headed to and this lady really had the luggage was too big, and she was too short. Your frame, that's easy cake. Put it up there, and I was like, I can help you. I need your help. And I'm like, oh, you're giving me attitude. And so do I sit there and just let her struggle with it? Petty me's like, yeah, let it's above me now. But at the same time, you're still trying to be gentleman-like. So Tori, what should I do in the future if something like that happens? Do I still try to be a gentleman in that?
You still be you. You still be a gentleman. I mean, that's the way you were raised. You're still representing your mother. You're still representing, if you're a believer, you're still representing something or somebody. You said you're a husband. You're representing your wife. So still be a gentleman. Whether she's ghetto or chooses not to, or I'm a feminist, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, you still be you. And that's the only thing you can do. If somebody doesn't want to accept that, then that's their problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what Jesse said in the comments. I made sure I wrote that down. He was like, man, what is going on in this person's life to think that? Like, how out of the gate, how cuckoo are you to say that this is that? Yeah.
Oh, I finally found it. Okay. Now I can see the comments.
Okay. All right. Yes, it's hard out here for a gentleman.
Yeah.
It can be difficult.
Yeah.
Well, it's just as equally as hard as for the women, because now so many women and Instagram has set the bar so low that men don't have to be respectable anymore. And women are getting to this point. I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm sorry.
You can say that. You fine. You can say that.
But we've gotten to that point where I don't need no man. I'm this and I'm that. You know what I'm saying? It's gotten to that point where the bar is set so low. It's not how we were raised. And my grandmother, let a man be a man, you know, let him do this, let him do that. And I get it because I'm a single mom. So sometimes I have to remember to don't hurry up and get to the door. I might just go to the door and open it. It's like, oh, wait, let me get that for you. You know? And so that's what we need to get back to, because the bar has been lowered so much that men don't have to pursue women. I mean, that's just something in your nature. Like bees, if you put them in the moon and they don't have to fly anymore because they're already floating, they die. So that's what men do. That's what you guys are. You guys are gentlemen. You guys are the protectors. You guys are the providers. You guys are the head. And so when you're not in your position, it's starting to lower the standards. And now women are now starting to be in control, and it's out of order.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I could just question on that. I wonder if it's more of a balance, because I'm thinking back to my great grandparents or even my grandparents, where the man did do a lot of that work, but by the man doing all of the work, the lady was forced to be submissive. And so the lady didn't have that control. The control was from the man. I think to like the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? And how Ike had everything. And so since Ike had the majority of the stuff, he could then do those mind tricks and manipulate Tina. So I wonder if there's a balance in that where, yes, we are both sharing that control, but we're balancing it where I'm not trying to control and lord over you. We're in this thing together.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a balance to it. I think this particular example is not it. Like this particular is not. This is not the balance. Yeah. Like opening doors is not aggressive patriarchy. You know what I mean? Like I could, we're talking money, controlling money, controlling bank accounts. You can't work because, those types of things, manipulating where you can and cannot go. That's different.
Yeah.
Even on the other flip side, using sex as a tool for manipulation, stuff like those are all things that we could talk about in terms of balance.
Yeah.
Opening the door, that's just chivalry. That's just being a gentleman. I think we gotta, I think that's part of why we get to something like that statement, because we like to lump everything in and we don't slow down enough to kind of pick out, okay, this ain't it. This don't fit there. That don't fit there. Mm-hmm. This doesn't fit there. Now these things here, these do work, but opening a door is not leading us to telling women where they can and cannot go. It's not a cage. So we're not opening the door of a cage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's different. So
yeah, it's a damned if you do, if you don't. If I don't open the door, now all of a sudden I'm not a gentleman. If I do open the door, I'm lording and controlling over you. Yeah.
I think in my generation and the women that I know, we welcome that. And again, sometimes when women have been single for so long, sometimes we just kind of forget that we can be ladies. But like I said, for majority, I noticed that this guy didn't open the door for me. I noticed it. I noticed when he pulled that chair out, it wasn't from. I mean, when he said, "Oh, that's I'm sitting here," I noticed it. So that's the generation I come from, is where you do that. And again, like what just happened this weekend, it's the bar is so low right now that no one really has to be in a role per se. A man don't have to be a man, a woman don't have to be a woman, because no one have to be in a role anymore. No one need each other anymore.
Yeah. Especially on the first date. First date, you're putting your best foot forward. You trying to open the door.
Thank you.
And then we can discuss roles of what you do or do not like. But at least go in, opening the door and pulling the chair out. Come on, homie.
Come on. Thank you.
Trash.
All right, let me jump to the next one.
He wished I would try to sit in that seat after he pulled the chair out.
Yeah, he's been blocked. This is another very interesting one. All right. Okay. Hi, can I cancel your order? Can you cancel order 100078? Good morning. Sure, I can cancel your order. Reverse time for refund is typically 3 business days. Depending on your bank, it will show up as DLV credit. Can I ask what's wrong? Here is the response. Oh, nothing at all. Your stuff is cute, but my man ordered from you, and I told him I don't like when he orders from girls. Nothing against you, girl, but if you can cancel it for me, and when he emails what happened, can you just tell him you don't feel comfortable selling to him, please? You know, men are attracted to pretty women on a mission. Girl code. I hope you understand. So for those who didn't catch that, a girlfriend/wife saw her man ordered from another woman that apparently is attractive. So she texts the woman to cancel the order because she doesn't want her man ordering from a pretty woman on a mission. And then asked the business owner, first complimented her that her stuff is nice, but then said, can you please lie to him and tell him that why is the reason why he canceled, why she canceled it. And then said girl code. Now I know there's guy code. I don't obviously know girl code, so I don't know. So Dre, what's your thoughts, brother?
So I had to dig way deep and try to see it from her perspective. And when I tell you I struggled trying to see this from her perspective, I don't know the girl code. The only thing that I could get from this is in this situation, this mate, this partner, she's been broken, and their relationship is somehow rocky, where she's like, if he orders you, is a trigger for him to slide into the DMs and do something. So I'm asking you, can you pull back so he doesn't even get anywhere close to whatever that trigger is? Can you do that for the girl code? That's the only thing I could think of in this, because I mean, I tried. There's obvious some trust issues there. There's obvious something in their past history. Something happened. But for her to say, let me slide into this business owner's DM to say, my husband has a trigger with beautiful women like you. You fit his type. Can you please pull back? That's all I got. What about you, Winfred? I tried.
Tori, I'm gonna let you go first. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I probably would have blocked her. I mean, to be honest with you, because I don't have time for any insecurities. If a man ordered my book and you come in my DM asking me to take it back and lie for you, either you're insecure or he has broken some type of trust. Yeah. Either one of those situations had nothing to do with me.
Ain't my problem.
So you don't go in there, and that ain't no doggone no girl code. We don't do that. You don't stop another woman from making money or whatever. Like, I don't care who it is. You don't do that. We don't. That's breaking a girl code. If a woman is this is her hustle, this is her job or whatever, you don't do that. But either way it go, that is something between the two of them. If she doesn't trust him, she needs to get out the relationship. Period. Because I don't have a secret with you. I don't know you.
So I'm not going to refund your money because you have a situation with your husband, your man that you chose to stay with if he's cheated. And by this right now, I understand it, because my thing is that you have some insecurity issues.
I'm gonna say yeah. So Dre, good job trying to find.
I tried.
It's a good try.
I appreciate it.
It's a very good try. You reached beyond
yeah.
that one. But that one, my thing is this: if you ever get y'all, so you've ever heard this from me? I always say the moment that you have to look through your person's, your man, your woman's phone is the moment that you know your relationship is about to end.
It's over.
That means your trust is over. Trust has been breached. You know that it's gone. This is a clear indication that the expiration date on this relationship has passed, and they either need some really strong counseling to rebuild this trust, because literally I agree. You're breaking the girl code.
Yeah.
Because the girl code is supposed to be empowering one another, especially if we're talking about Black women. We're supposed to be empowering one another, not saying, hey, sis, let me get that money back from your book.
Yeah.
Like all the work and marketing. I mean, if anybody's tried to sell anything, you know how expensive and how hard it is to get customers.
I don't even know if I would have responded. I probably would just blocked it.
You gonna say give a refund? No.
I do understand part of her plea. If I'm married with the queen and the queen cheated with another person who's very handsome, and then I see that the queen is purchasing something from another small business owner, and that person fits the description that my queen had an affair with, I get where I would have red flags.
Sure.
I get where I would say, ooh, let me pop into homie's door. Let's talk man to man. Hey, homie, check this out. Here's the deal. Without giving you too much information, but where she messed up to me is when she said, can we lie about it?
No.
You can't. Yeah.
No. So here's the problem. If you and the queen have a problem, and you and the queen need to have a conversation, leave me out of it.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Like, leave
that's the problem.
Business owner out of it, because the business owner has done nothing but be who that business
friendly fire. Business friendly fire. Yeah. Now, Tori, would you get the money back?
We don't even know each other. I mean, we don't know each other for me to keep a secret from your man and we give your money back. You better get off my phone. So I'm saying, I
wouldn't even remember. Like, let's just say he does, Tori. I wouldn't remember. Like, why would you refund it? I don't know. Like, I probably wouldn't remember that I'm not supposed to tell you.
That is breaking girl code right there. That's
would you refund the money?
Anytime you tell someone, a mother at that, to give some money back because you don't trust your man, what kind of mess is that? No.
She's not.
No.
Tori said she refunded the money. Would I refund the money? Nah. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. And even if I did, I definitely would not lie for her.
Right.
If I refunded the money, I'll refund this money. But if he asks me why, I'm not going to tell him what you said. Just so you understand that. If he asks me why this book didn't come, I'm going to show him this text thread as to why his stuff was refunded. So if that's what you want me to do, then go ahead. But I'm not going to lie for you. That's what
Tasia brought up a good point in the comments. She said it's not her money, it's the customer's money. I hadn't considered that. So now you got me chewing, Tasia. Thank you for that. Because my first thought is
a you problem.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's the man's problem. Wherever the man money, the man who paid for it. It's a you problem. It's not my business, and you aren't my customer. And I won't be discussing other customers' orders with you anyway. Tell my customers to contact me, please, and thank you. Yeah. Again, bye.
Y'all persuaded me, because I was all in. Yeah, I won't lie for you, but I'll give you back the money. But it's not your money.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
that's
not gonna happen.
Because again, if it comes back as a refund, it's coming back to his account, and he's gonna be like, "What happened?" Which is gonna lead him to asking me. And if he asks me, I'm not lying for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough.
I'm not lying for you.
But it's honest. It's rough.
I lie for you.
Yeah.
I'm not. I know you like that. All right, let's keep going. Whew. I told y'all these hot topics.
Yeah, they hot today.
Today, I found out my 7-year-old daughter really did lie about my husband's other girlfriend as revenge for being grounded, and that he never cheated on me at all. We're well into our divorce proceedings, and he won't forgive me for not believing him when he denied it, excuse me, FML. For those who don't know what that means, it means F my life, by the way.
Mm.
So.
What
Ooh.
FML is what?
F my life.
Oh, okay.
What you think, Tori?
I just think that I have 2 girls, they're 11 and 12. And if there was a situation where they lie on their father for revenge, there's something going on with being my daughter. Because if she's gotten to that point where she's, first of all, not afraid to lie to her mother, but then to lie on her father about something that wasn't true and that could be damaging, that is a situation between me and her. It has nothing to do with him yet. I mean, that has nothing to do with him at all. That's something between me and her.
Yeah.
Now I got to go back and apologize to him,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you wouldn't have let it got to the point of divorce proceedings to start, is what you're saying?
No, there's a
divorce.
Say it again.
I said because she believed the daughter has filed for divorce as well into the divorce and now realizes the daughter lied. So you're saying you wouldn't ever file for divorce just because your daughter said that, or?
No, there's something going on between the mother and the daughter. There's something going on there, because why would the daughter do that? I mean, even for her to be for that type of manipulation, and then say for instance the father is maybe molesting the daughter. Okay, I get that. Because now she got to come up with something to. But again, that goes with me and my daughter. We have to have a strong enough connection or relationship so that she'd be able to tell me anything, and be honest.
Yeah. Dre?
Yeah, this one was tough. I didn't get enough context. I think Jamaica shared that in the comment section. I wish that the meme, the conversation, the whatever would have given us a little bit more context, because I don't know if the dad is the stepdad and mom is still holding on. I mean, and child is still holding on that he's not my real dad. I don't know if it's reversed and dad is the real dad and little mama's like she ain't good enough because she ain't my mama. I don't know where this is. I would have loved to have more context to break it out the child psychology theories, but she's a great manipulator. This little baby did it. Way to go.
There's definitely not enough context. When I read, I thought the same thing, because I want to know stepdad, dad, is the stepmom, mom, like what's the dynamics of the relationship. I didn't think about, maybe possibly she's being molested and didn't know how to say it. Like there's something else but then I had to think about, okay, let's just look at this in the context of what it says. If a daughter legitimately just lied, put this lie out there because she got grounded. Yeah. So that was my assumption, is that the father is the bad guy. It's always a good cop and bad cop. Yeah. So the dad is the bad cop usually. So he's grounded her one too many times and she's tired of it. And this is what she's done. In that scenario, what Ms. Cole says is exactly what I thought. Like, this is a problem between a father and a daughter, and we need to figure out what's going on in this father-daughter relationship, where that's the lie that she would go to. That's the lie that she chose to say, and use to say this is, and to see my mom file for divorce and still not say anything. So if you know, because like to pay for it is not cheap, to get a lawyer is not cheap, to go to court is not, like she said, we're well into the proceedings. So all of this time we've talked about it around the house, like this isn't new, and you still have not confessed that you lied.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge problem with this dynamic between this father and this daughter.
Yeah.
And so, and the other point, yes, the other layer is what's going on with this wife and this husband, that this was something that she believed without further proof.
Yes.
Because every woman I know has that instinct.
Yes.
If he's doing it, she already knows, and she needs proof. And so just the daughter saying, if the daughter saying it was enough proof, makes me think that she either felt like she already had some more proof, or she was looking for it, couldn't find it, and thought, this is the proof that I need.
Yeah. I found it really interesting in this scenario because we think of children as innocent. And when a child says something, you believe them. Child says, Mom, James stole X amount of dollars. You believe the child because the child is not going to lie out the gate like that. But in this instance, you're supposed to follow up. Where's the investigation? Like you need to go through text messages and go through some phones or something.
Exactly.
I didn't see any of that in this context. And I think by that happening, the father, he said, in my mind, this played out. He's like, she's already made up in her mind that I've cheated. So I'm not going to fight. It's not worth the fight anymore. She doesn't trust me. And now the truth came out. And he's like, I tried to told you.
Right.
So now she's got to live with that guilt, and she's got to live with those consequences that she chose not to follow up and investigate.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough. Thomas James says, what was the conversation between father and daughter when she lied? Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. Nicole says, no, that's a daddy and daughter issue. A spotlighted a daddy and mommy issue. Exactly. That's why I agree too.
Yeah.
They just said, well, proof did she have that he cheated to begin with? And then you go from cheating straight to divorce court, something is missing. Agree. Anthony says the parents probably cut on each other and she just learned and mastered how to get her way. Yep, I would agree with that too. Mm-hmm. I would agree. That's definitely a possibility, sir. And then Anthony says children are there till they are 7 means she learned how to watch her own back, fear or not.
Yeah. The funniest comment I remember reading during the scroll, Kevin Jackson, he was like, why is the 7-year-old in grown folks' business?
Well, there's a reason for her. If she's in their business, there's a reason. There's something going on. Like I said, I have 2 daughters, and one is 11 and one is 12. If something's going on, and our relationship should be already tight enough for her to feel comfortable with coming to me for anything. And if she has to come and lie to me about something, that's why I said that's between the mother and the daughter. Regardless if the father is there or not, the mother and the daughter's bond should be tighter.
I agree. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Got 3 more. All right, so would you all find this offensive? Would you be offended? So the letter, I can't read that small. Hold on, let me read it. So here's what the letter says. It says,
I can read if you need me to.
I got it. It says, today's date, March 1st, 2021. Special note for parents. Please leave outside food at home. Due to allergies of other kids, we cannot accept outside food. Plus, we don't know if your house is clean. Also, it makes us feel like we ain't got no food in the center. Then it says, note at the bottom circle, it says, note, parents, we will be going on a field trip tomorrow to Walmart. Please send $10 in parentheses or EBT card with PIN Not let your child be the only child unable to shop. This is from the Sunny Light Daycare Center, where we allow the Lord to be our light and our salvation. When I read that part, I was like, "That's the okay." So, Tori, would you be offended if you got, if as a parent, that's what got sent home with one of your daughters?
Now, Winfrey, you know my testimony. You know, when we first moved here, me and the kids went homeless, so I got everything that was under the sun.
Absolutely.
But I'll be doggone if anybody asks for my food stamps. If I go to the Jesus house and get a bucket of, are you kidding me? So no. First of all, why would you assume that I get it? And then if I was getting it, you're not gonna take my EBT card and get my PIN code and use. Are you serious? Like, really? Was this a daycare or a school?
This is a daycare. This is a daycare.
So now daycare get funding. Daycares get funding. Not only that, they charge like $200 per kid. So whatever they need, they should be provided for. Unless that child need to come out. They don't have enough food. No.
Dre?
The way that my gut busted out laughing reading this letter. And I mean, it was a hearty wake up the queen while she sleep type of a laugh. I mean, I was on the floor in tears rolling at this. This is the greatest letter I've ever seen in my life.
I gotta repost that.
Oh, it's so fantastic. From an educational point of view, somebody didn't approve this.
Absolutely.
From an educational, nobody ever goes to Walmart for a field trip. So once again, somebody didn't approve this.
I forgot about that part.
Then this got to be in a small town because once again, somebody didn't approve this. There's negligence all over the place because once again, somebody did. But then after just pulling back after the tears and laughter, I said, this can't be real. This can't be real. There's nowhere in the world that this is real.
Not
one
so I'm going to take
milk.
my child to no daycare, and I'm paying, $150 to $200 a week, maybe more, depending on what area we're in. And then the trip, the field trip, is at Walmart, so we can learn how to use food stamps.
Out of shop.
Yeah.
Out of shop.
No way that this was real. And I'm so glad to discover that this was not real.
Yeah. We're going shopping with, first of all, we're going shopping with $10. I don't know what we're teaching children, how we teaching children to shop with $10 these days, because there's you can't even get good candy for $10 these days. So
right.
Yeah. This is clearly not real, but
I found the actual post and the actual person who tweeted it out. And then, of course, the internet, they just chop up what they need to, block up what they need to, and then it went viral.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really dope that they did it. You all know the origins of it?
No.
Oh, okay. So her name was Jira, like Jehovah Jireh. Her name was Jira Dunlap Florence. And she couldn't afford going to work and doing daycare. So her mom and her grandmother, they watch baby. And so mom and grandma loves spending time with baby. And so as a joke, mom and grandma created the letter and sent it to Jira. And so Jira posted, you all know I work from home. I can't have the background noise. I refuse to put McKinley in daycare. So mom and grandma are both retired and decided that they would keep her. Y'all, my mama really thinks she run a day. Please read my child's report for the day. And then there's the child's report.
That's funny.
So that is absolutely. And then she's crying and laughing herself, talking about send the $10. Oh my God.
She said, please send $10 or EBT with pen with the child. Don't let your child be the only one able to shop.
I love families like this. This family, they're the super family for me. Mom and grandma probably were cackling and crying while they were typing this up?
Absolutely. This is some foolishness my dad would do. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay.
My dad would do that.
Yeah. Right. And then somewhere on it, at the top of the letter, it says something like, I don't trust if your house is clean. Oh,
right.
Man. Like I said, when I read this letter, it just tickled my entire soul, man. It was so funny.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Who has this? Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Who has more potential? So, ladies, specifically for the ladies. All right, scenario: 4 months of dating, and you tell, and you tell 4 of your potential suitors that your furnace has gone out.
Mm-hmm.
Here are their replies. The first one is, "Let me come look at it." Second one, "That sucks." The third one, "Do you need anything? You and your son can stay here if you need." Number 4, "Find out how much it'll be, the money, and you go ahead and get it fixed." Who has more potential? So, yeah, I'm interested in this one. So, Tori, as the lady on the panel tonight, which one of these, I'll put it back up for you, who has the most potential in order? So start like most potential to least.
And in the comment section, those in the comments, give us your order too. I'm curious. I've got my notebook out ready to learn from this one.
Can you say it again, Tori? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was muted. I was telling Andre to go first so that I can reread it because I was asking my daughter to bring my book to me.
Okay. Dre, go ahead.
Yeah, can you pull it back up? I'm really curious on this. And the way that I read it, I just reversed the roles in a relationship. Something like 4 months of dating, and then afterwards, I can't make it to my son's or my daughter's parent-teacher conference. And then I have these 4. The first one, let me come up there and I'll get the report, blah, blah, blah. The second one was like, that sucks for you. You know, the third one, well, what do you need? What do you need? A ride to pick up? You know, do you need me to Zoom? Someone potentially asking. And then the fourth one, like, do we need to reschedule? I really didn't use the fourth one. So for me, the red flag, only because of the way that the language was used, was number 2. Number 2 for me was a red flag. I've been out the game dating for a long time, so I don't know what 4 months actually feels like now in dating world, time, years, whatever. To me, 4 months back then was still early. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say, dang, that sucks. Like, that is so insensitive to the situation. So I have no idea. And shout out to Ann, I'm gonna mess her name up, Miss Cole. She was like, yeah, number 2. She thought number 2 was terrible too.
And Tisha, tell me
okay.
If I said wrong, please tell me. So you said you said 2 is out.
2 was the worst of the bunch. I'm curious in this. I would love to know, the viewers watching, I would love to know your order. What would be the order? Tori, I'm so excited to hear your perspective on this one as well.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I'm thinking that number 2, and we've been dating for 4 months, and he's like, "Oh man, that sucks." That would show me that he doesn't care. You know, if I'm a mother, and you're trying to date me, we're still in like the courting, kind of the honeymoon phase. 4 months is not that long, even though it's long enough to start getting to know someone. But if you just tell me that sucks, especially if you done had your hand in the cookie jar. So I'm saying yeah, that sucks. Either way it goes, that sucks is going to be a no-no.
No. So I pulled the Dre on this one. I pulled the Dre and said, okay, damn, that sucks, to me is not a terrible response if it is followed by something else. Because my response would have
a solution.
I could see me going, man, that's terrible. What we need to do to fix, let's have somebody come and look at it, or let me and one of the other answers. So I was trying to do a Dre by going, all right, 2 is like a comma into something else. Because a lot of times, we want to lead with empathy. And so the empathetic response is, wow, that sucks, man. That's terrible. I'm sorry this happened to you. But you do have to then go with something else. But I also can understand, again, given this context of this new world dating thing that we have going on, that if opening the door is aggressive patriarchy, then like, how do I navigate deciding whether or not this is something I'm supposed to jump in? Because you don't need me. You don't need me as a man. You can do all this stuff by yourself. So depending on the woman, I could see a man just going, I'm gonna wait until she tell me what she want me to do. If she don't want my help, I'm just gonna sit here. Again, I am not the person that would say that. My response would be, man, that's terrible. What do we need to do? Let's figure this out. Let me come look at it. Again, if it's a furnace, besides making sure the furnace is lit, I got nothing for you. Like, is the pilot lit? Let me go check. As long as the pilot lit, it's out of my, it's out of my will of realm of being able to fix it. So let's call
at 4 months, because I really don't know this answer. At 4 months, is this your responsibility for real?
I would personally, if somebody I like, yes, I would make it my responsibility, because I would want to make sure she is okay. Yes, but again, I think it's a matter of at 4 months. Yeah, at 1 month, like let's figure it out. What's going on? That's just me though, Dre. This is me we talking to. I want to. If you in my thinking is, if you in my life, something going on. I mean, even if it's my homegirl, I'm not gonna let my homegirl just be out there like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm definitely not somebody who I'm trying to court or woo, and yeah.
That's tough. Like I said, I'm out of the game, so I'm in a learning capacity here. So don't
wait, Andre. If this was a time that you were courting your wife, your now wife, in 4 months, and she said, "Hey, my furnace is out," how would you have responded?
That's not my responsibility. That's I'm here because I'm thinking in my head, we're still courting. I haven't met your family. We still trying to figure out if this thing is real in 4 months. Now, my wife and I, we did not have relations until marriage. So the intimacy was still developing and growing. We were still going to church together. We were still doing Bible study and these other things, but she had her own money and her own stuff and was responsible for her own things. I had my own money, my own stuff, responsible for my own things. So that's why I'm really curious here. For a situation like this, does this person call on the father figures in her life to address this? In a situation like this, I'm legit really curious here, because that's a $600 bill. And if we talking when me and my wife was dating and courting, a first year teacher was barely making 20. So I didn't have any money to do a 600.
And I think that's the other piece of it is, if you don't have the money, then that's a completely different scenario. Because there have been times where I've been asked to do stuff and I'm like, Brian got it. But still, I think the goal is to be there to help and to be there
to care.
To be there with them, right? To care, to be there with them through the process, especially as a woman, because we know that these types of scenarios go different when it's a woman by herself as opposed to when there's a man that's present to at least be there. So I think my role in that scenario is just to make sure, like, she's not getting price gouged, to do some research to see what could be done.
Absolutely.
To show some effort if you don't have it. So
I would be the care person, but I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know if I could say, here's $600 for a new water heater to make sure everything is the gas line. I don't know if I could do that.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
And then I like Anthony's point. How you going to want intimacy, but without helping him? But see, to me, in that issue, that is saying if I do for you, then you're gonna do for me through intimacy. And if I ain't got it, I just ain't got it.
Right.
So you gonna cut out the cookie because I ain't got it, and I'm not gonna get it now because I don't have it. So now we both don't have it.
Of course, it's not going down, bro. I guess that my thing is not, it's the consideration. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do more so with, for me, just again making sure that you're covered, because again I know I have a sister, so with my little sister, when she has to go through these things, like for her to have to do it by herself is completely different than if myself or my dad are there. So and whether we have the money or not, again, if I have it, cool. If I don't, no. Yeah, and again, 4 months, it really depends on where we are in that 4 months and if I have it. So I'm not saying like anybody I meet in 4 months, here's $600. Let's not be stupid. That's not what we're saying.
I like Anthony said, so another person comes down and fixes it for you. If that's the case, in my opinion, well, we still in the 4 months. If another person can come through and now she like him because he fixed it for her, that's a bigger issue of where we are in a relationship, meaning you can be fixed by money to me more than me giving you money.
Mm-hmm.
That's once again, it's just I've been out the game for a while. I never wanted to equate security with money and giving of gifts, because then that goes down a slippery slope.
I agree with that. I think it's a part of it, but I can understand why you're not wanting to be the way that is defined, the only way that is defined in a relationship. I can absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't think any, and if I'm wrong, ladies, please tell me, I don't think that a reasonable woman has the expectation that a man who she's been dating for 4 months is coughing up $700 to get her furnace fixed. Again, I mean, now if we're talking about LeBron James, that's different than if we're talking about the teacher. So I mean, again, I think there's levels and dimensions to this discussion. But I think the expectation comes back to: are you going to be present or are you going to disappear? Yeah. Are you going to engage?
We would really just
to not do anything and require. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tori.
No, I'm sorry. We prefer that you care. So. If you don't make enough money to do so or to be able to get it fixed or something like that, we still prefer that you care, that you try to figure something out. Maybe you call around to some agencies that may be able to help, or you might call and see if your uncle know a buddy, because everybody know a kitchen beautician. We all know a shade tree somewhere, that could make something happen. But we expect that you care, because if I have to do this by myself, I do not need you.
In 4 months, though. Because to me, what you
don't care in 4 months?
For me, it is different if we've been together for 2 years in 4 months than we've been going out once a week for 4 months. That to me, that's a
I'm like when Winfrey said to his sister, there was it went viral online, and there was a man that said that his sister, she had to call him. She had a blowout, and she had to call her brother to come and fix the tire for her. When that happened, he said, "Let me see your phone." Okay, erase every man on your phone list. If you had to call me, then these men are not worthy of your time. So that's the situation when it comes to, if you and I are dating, and I'm not just saying just we're just dating. I'm saying this is supposed to be going somewhere. We're in courtship, or we're dating with a purpose. Then I expect you to care. And not just say, okay, well, shoot, that sucks, man. You just got to figure something out. Yeah. If you care, then I expect you to, all right, let's put our heads together and come up with something.
Yeah. I love the comments are kind of saying my brain. Caring to me is different than fixing. And so, it's a touchy subject here. Because on the reverse end of that, if we vice versa that thing and I've got a $500 car payment I can't do, and we've been together for 4 months. You cutting the $500 check to pay for my Lexus RX 370 or whatever it's called.
If you got a Lexus RX 370, you got it. If you got a Lexus RX 370,
and it's only 3 months, and we only in this game for 4 months, and I can't afford. I'm struggling with this 500 care.
So I'm gonna be. I think again, I will. Okay, so this is what my patriarchy. No, it's not my patriarchy. This is my patriarchy, but this is where my masculinity comes in. My masculinity is that I don't expect certain things from women that I expect from men. That's me. So I would never expect a woman to give me money for anything. That's me, and I'm not suggesting it's right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just saying that that's how I think, because that's the type of man I am. So I couldn't compare those two the same because of that. So now if we're talking about something else, then maybe but I wouldn't expect a woman to pay my car note.
Yeah.
But if my kitchen, and again, this is mine, I'm not being patriarchal here. I'm not, and I said before, I believe in gender roles, so it's clear. But if my oven go out and you don't be like, come get this plate, I'm gonna have a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. If your oven is out and you and I have been dating for 4 months, you should be expecting me to cook for you. I mean, because now, you have to eat. There's a need there.
Yeah, that's me. So that's what's about.
I've been writing down notes. I'm learning. I'm in a learning capacity here. Yeah.
Wait a second. You can be concerned.
Yeah.
Anthony
I love how everyone is talking about just understanding the difference between caring and concerning versus, I love that.
All right, Anthony, go ahead. So let's come together. And so if it is real, the provision will be abundant and two can come together and God is there. Yes. It's not about money. It's like Tori said, call a favor or something. You can be concerned. Yeah, be concerned. You can be concerned. All right.
That's a good one. I enjoyed that scenario. Yeah.
I did too. I was trying to get number 2 back in good graces, but
that was a trash answer.
Number. That's why I was like,
yeah.
What else? Say something else, bro.
Yeah. Where's the ... We needed a comma or something.
Yeah, I needed something else. All right, this one is interesting. Do I even have? Oh, I must have forgot to load this one. All right, that's okay because we out of time anyway. All right, so Hot Topics was brought to you, of course, by our favorite Bob Shamrock, where you can pull up and fill up. Again, Bob Shamrock is found on the corner of Northwest 10, 2901 Northwest 10th Street, where you can pull up, get your gas filled, and get your stomach filled. Say pull up and fill up. Bob Shamrock is found at 2901 Northwest 10th Street in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. This next segment, our main topic tonight, of course, as always, is brought to you by a couple people. Hold on. So, of course, if you're looking to advertise, you can advertise with us right here on The Scoop. We have several packages to fit your budget. So definitely, if you've got an event or if you've got a business or special or something that you want promoted, then you need to be advertising right here on this show with us. You can email me at globaldriveradio@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and we can talk about a package that is beneficial for you. Also, we have been doing something special with the Firestarter, which is called the Dear Firestarter. We're doing where if you want free coaching with the Firestarter, where she will bring you, she will take your situation and give you a free coaching on air. You don't have to be on air, but your situation can be on air. So if you want to be involved, you need to email her at firestarterpassion@gmail.com. And what she needs to know is, first of all, what the situation is. 2, what you have done already with the situation. And number 3, how can the Firestarter help, or what questions do you have about the situation? So email her again at firestarterpassion@gmail.com. And for those who don't know, we do this segment, her segment, every fourth Tuesday of the month. So if you email her, you still have time to get in for this particular month. And last but definitely not least, this segment, of course, is brought to you by Elegance by Design. We're a healthy, come on, Dre, what is it? A healthy you. Oh, Lord. Sorry, Q.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to kill me. Thank you. Look, it's right on the bottle. A healthy hair, skin is our priority, but a beautiful you is our specialty. So you can get your shade, you can get your coily custard, and all of the other magnificent products that she offers. And actually, you need to get them before March the 19th. So you only got 2 days because she's going on vacation for a month. And so if you need them, you need to get on there, elegancebydesign.com. That's design with a Z, and get yours because she's going on vacation. We sending Q on vacation because my sister needs a break. And so
and Winfrey, when I tell you that shampoo,
listen, it's touched.
Man, when you going that shampoo, man, yeah. So
listen, I use the beard stuff. It's
okay.
Touched. It's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah. You feel cute. Buddy. Yeah.
But I get all kinds of, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Fellas. Yeah. And so even the shade stuff, I mean, it's like, yeah, they walk past you and they give you the, when the lady walk past you and they give you the double.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me. So, ladies,
and I love the texture of her shea butter. It didn't feel greasy. So, like, I mean, I got a daughter. Daughter's a 9th grader, really thick hair. She's natural, and using products on it. It didn't feel greasy. It didn't get cakey in the hair. It was a dope product, man. Real talk. Hey, yeah,
it's good stuff. All right, let's get into this topic. So, this topic came from I don't know if you both read this this article. This article actually was an older article. I didn't until I reread it. I didn't realize it was actually initially published in 2013. But the article is about a woman who waited till she was 27 years old and got married to have sex, and said that the sex was bad. Sex was bad with her husband for the first 2 years, and she was considering trying to figure out whether or not she wanted to remain in this marriage because she felt like she was robbed because she did it the right way. She waited.
Yeah.
And she went so far in this article to say that she initially thought it was her because she didn't have any, she said she went in with this expectations of, bombs bursting with air and that she would see the sun, the moon, and the stars.
Yeah.
And she said at first it didn't happen. So she thought, okay, maybe it's just because I'm new. First 10 times. She said then they went on vacation to try something and it was painful. And basically she spent all her time telling him to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Then she tried toys. She said she tried toys and he took the toy and threw the toy out the window. And said, how dare you insult my masculinity by using the toy? And they tried to go talk to somebody. They went one time, and after that, he said he wasn't going back. Now she is frustrated because though she says he's wonderful in every other area, she's like, I can't go the next 40 years of my life with bad sex. So tonight's topic is bad sex a marriage killer? And is good sex, the part I added, is good sex before marriage an indicator that there won't be bad sex in the marriage? Because all three of us I know have been raised in church, and we've all been told the way till marriage. We've all been, told that piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, like, is that a thing? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like, let's let's get into this. Is bad sex a marriage killer? And is good sex before marriage an indicator that there won't be bad sex in marriage? Trey, I'm gonna let you go first.
I dove deep in this one. I remember the article back in 2013, and it's gone through, you know, the scoop once or twice at least.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the chance to be back in my psychology bag, and I mean, I analyzed these snot out of this one. Is bad sex a marriage breaker? 20-year-old me would have said no. 40-year-old me would say yes. Because there's some needs that people need. And if you are a higher desire, like I am, that is a major deal breaker for some relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second question was,
is good sex is pre-marriage? Is that an indicator that you won't have bad sex in marriage?
It is not an indicator. Gosh, this is gonna sound so non-churchy.
Go for it.
You might, if you are really in a relationship, and the plans are that you all are really trying to grow this thing together, you might have to clap the see. You just might have to. You might need to see. You really might, because you could get in a situation just like this. I get why so many of our clergy tell us not to. I understand that. At the same time, a lot of our clergy who have been saying it was clapping cheeks themselves without marriage or whatever, shacking and hacking or whatever the other phrases were as well. So yeah, those are my simple two answers without going too deep.
All right, we'll keep going. Tori, go ahead.
I would say that, first of all, as a believer, sex before marriage is the way that you're supposed to do it, because that's just the order. That's your protection from God and everything. And so, you know, that's the wedding gift from Him. So that's on the spiritual level. On the not so spiritual level, I don't think it's divorce worthy. If he is not into toys and stuff like that, because first of all, she is going to have to be honest with him. I can see that she would probably have thought that, maybe it's me, because that's the first thing that women do. Okay, maybe it's me. But that's the reason why I did write Taboo, because we were taught that you should wait. Sex before marriage is a sin. It's fornication. It's like that. So you should wait. However, if no one, like the Bible says, the older women supposed to be teaching the younger women. My grandmother, my mom, they're buying lingerie for me in advance. They're buying, all the stuff that they would say I need. And then my mom is like, okay, this, and my grandmother, my mom, they have this great sense of humor. So they would talk about things that was kind of spontaneous and kind of spicy or whatever like that. But if you don't have someone that will do that, and like I mentioned in the book where one of my friends said, I said, you know what, I think God is having me to write a book. And she was just like, well, what is it about? I said, but I think it's on sex. She's like, oh, well, I can see why God would do that, because we taking half y'all men. If people are not knowing what to do, or people that are experienced are now having to go this route and this other person is not experienced, then there will be a little bit of conflict, especially if there's no communication. Like today in my Instagram, I put a post up that said, if you don't like your legs up in the air, communicate that. Because if he put them up in the air and they're up there, and then that check engine light come on, you're going to shut it down. Because you're in pain. But I think that people should figure out a way to communicate that, to communicate what does feel good, what doesn't, but also somebody else should be able to be open for the possibilities. If now he's talking about, okay, let me stick it up your butt, and she's not for it, be like, okay, look, let's just go here and let's just there's certain things that I don't want to do. And he should respect that. But as far as not, but as far as if he doesn't know what to do, or if he's not doing it right, or she's not getting orgasms, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. But that's where communication come in. It's not divorce worthy, especially if their friendship is that bond, because that's really where a lot of passion is.
Okay. So, all right. Is bad sex a marriage killer? Yes. Absolutely. For men and women. So let's just be clear. It's not one of them things where men love because men love it so much that no, this is a marriage killer for men and women. Because sex is a way that men and women connect intimately. And it's not the only way, but it is for men the primary way by which most men enter intimacy. And for women, it is really for a lot of women, not all. I mean, I say all women, but for many women, it is a way that they express an ultimate way of passion and love. So, yeah, I mean.
So, do you think it's divorce worthy? I mean, do you think it's? I mean, just because the sex is bad, but we are in a great relationship, a great marriage.
Depending on the type, do I think it's divorce worthy? It depends on the person. And I say that because, again, to me, it might not be as big of a deal. But if it is to somebody who it is, I can see. So for me, like I have core priorities. So one of my priorities is something else, so if it is, and you're violating that, and that violates it, it would be for me.
Yeah. Okay. You said if one of your priorities
is violating something that I needed.
Okay.
And I can see wanting to not be married to you anymore if you consistently violate or that need is not met. Absolutely. I can see that.
Now, are we saying that there is no sex, or we're just saying that it's not the bomb.com?
Like she's saying, like she's it hurts. It's no orgasm.
Mm-hmm. She has never experienced an orgasm with him. Yeah.
Because now, of course, I've done hair before, so I have a lot of females that we talk, and as quiet as it's kept,
most of y'all don't.
Sex is like huge, huh?
I said most of y'all don't have orgasm.
Okay, then.
I didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
I was saying, I think that research shows that a lot of women
a lot of women. Yeah.
Well, remember, I'm over 40. So a lot of these women that's under 30 that have not explored how to pop off on their own, I can see where there would be a problem. Mm-hmm. But by the time that we hit over 40, that libido heightens up like big time. And so whether you are in it or not, we know how to 3 minutes flat. Mm-hmm. Now, so in a situation where the sex is bad, if I'm in love with this person and this is a good person, mm-hmm. I might try to work it out. I wouldn't leave a good situation just because of bad sex, or he come too fast or whatever like that. Sure. That's where I improvise at. But now if he's a bad husband and I don't get no good sex out of it, then yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. I was looking at this scenario based on the article, and my heart broke for her, the young woman first. Because one, she was saving herself. And then two, she was reading them erotic books. Now, when you tap into Zane, and you tap into some of them other things, her mind went there. So in her mind, intimacy was 4 and 5 pages from a Zane book. And so here she is getting married, and that has been longing for. That's what she's wanting. and he's like, tap, tap, we done. You messed up with her mind, because her mind is saying, when I think of sex, when I think of intimacy, this is what I expect, and it wasn't the reality. So they've never really had a conversation on what is the reality of sex, and how sometimes sex is only 3 minutes, like you said, Tori, and other times when we don't have to go to work, we could be swinging from the chandelier at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
I felt bad for her for that reason, because her mind was the foreplay. Her mind was wanting to be in a bath, wanted to be at a beach house, wanted to be on this vacation, this great vacation sex, and it didn't live up to her expectation. My heart broke for her, and that's why I say it could be a deal breaker, because in her mind, in order for her to jump off and have those orgasms in that manner, she's got to be in that modality. And based on just the article, the homie was having none of that.
I think what I wanted to know, if I were to have a conversation with her, first of all, because she says in the article that she thought it was her, so she went out and bought a toy and started watching adult movies and started learning how to self-pleasure. And so she said, and that's for the first time she experienced an orgasm. Yeah. I would want to know, because it's me, what was happening when you were self-pleasuring, so that got you to that point, because I want to know that, because like, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind? What was you like? I want to know the whole shebang, so that way, as a man. But I think part of the problem is, for whatever reason, he wasn't interested in doing that. He wasn't interested in taking the time to slow down and say, okay, what is it that, because, and I don't know if he knew she was self-pleasuring, but if she is self-pleasuring and able to do this on her own, what's happening where when she's with me, all of a sudden she can't? So I would need to know, I'd want to know all of that.
Yeah. Appears to be the type of person where she needs her mind to loosen up, to receive that intimacy, and this will flow. So perhaps the homie, the dude in the thing, he not connecting that way, and he's just wanting physical without those other steps to get her. Like I said, they both seem terribly frustrated, right?
Well, let's just say this, okay? If so in June, it will be 2 years for me that I've been without, right? And just say, for instance, I got married in June or whatever, and after 2 years of not doing it, I whatever was in my brain or whatever I wrote in this book that I've researched of how to get an orgasm, if I get to that point, I finally get married and I finally, whatever's in my head, that's going to kind of screw with you. However, if the situation is that this is a good person, because right now, Andre, you're married. How long have you been married?
20 in August.
So you've been married for 20 years. Yeah. In a situation where I've not been married for 20 years, and I see what's going on out here, and you got Instagram and all, everybody, nothing really is out here. So when you catch a good man or a good woman, that's really very important to hold on to, knowing that you have somebody trustworthy to come home to at night, knowing that you have somebody honest, knowing that you have somebody that is your rock and your anchor, and you guys are going in the same direction and building a legacy. Those things are very important to me at this point. But see, I'm almost 45. So I'm there at this point now. You probably asked me 10 years ago, then I'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm out, because I am that person that do have a high drive. So in this case right here, I would have to work it out. Now, if he's not, if that's going against his manhood, and he's got to be intimidated and he got to be insecure because of a toy, then that might be a problem, because I would feel like, okay, now you're selfish. Well, like I said, I think there is some things that I don't think it's off the bat that we should do that, because at the same time, at my age, I could do it without him. You know, I could do this in 3 minutes flat without him, whether he's in the bed or not.
Let me throw this in there to you, Tori. So a part of here's the other. I agree with you. I agree that it's not something that you should just automatically like, sex is bad, I'm out. I agree with that. But also, if you were taught that sex before marriage is bad and you waited, aren't you also taught that masturbation is wrong too? And so then is there a possibility that self-pleasure and self-gratification now brings with it some of the same things that you would have had when you were talking about?
But it depends on what you were taught. If you were not taught that that masturbation was bad, then it's not going to be.
Some people teach that? What churches teach that?
Say it again.
I was just saying, what church teachers don't teach that? Because all of them I don't teach that one.
I heard about it, and then but see, I'm gonna go back and research it. And if it's talking about dude had came on the ground, that was a direct God told him directly to impregnate her, and he chose to sin against God. He didn't say that, you know, me popping off one.
The teaching is right or wrong. I'm just thinking of the mindset of the woman of if she feels, could she potentially feel the same, have the same, you know, constitution about masturbation that she did about waiting till marriage. And so maybe for her, the idea of having to be in marriage where to get an orgasm, she would have to self-gratify, because she's taught that if she's taught that that sex is before marriage is wrong, then she's probably taught that self-gratification is wrong too.
Okay, I got you.
I was just wondering, like, I wonder if maybe for her that's not an option or something she wants to continue to do because she feels a level of guilt behind doing that.
But if that's the case, then she wouldn't bring any toys in either, though, because
can't do toys either.
Then you're bringing other outside into the marriage.
I'm a different type of pastor. I'm sorry.
My heart. Based on, once again, I'm just going off what the article said. She's been waiting. It reminds me of a Nutty Professor for all them years. And, you know, the grandma was like, whoo, make your head pop. She's been waiting for that level of intimacy. She's done everything right. And that really has some inferences to like the church, saving yourself for marriage. And then she gets married and he's not willing to live up or to even to explore the things that she needs from him as far as intimacy. So physicality isn't there. The emotional ain't going to be there as well. Yeah. And so for me, that is a huge cut in the relationship. Even at 45, like shout out to you for going 2 years. That is phenomenal. But once when you get married or once when you get in that long-term relationship and then you find out that the homie ain't doing it right, are you willing? I'm just general rhetorical question. Are you really willing to only use toys for the rest of that time? I think that's what
it would be the same situation if something happened to him, he got in a car wreck and then he was intimate at that point. It would be the same situation.
That's a good point. That is a terrific point. I have no comeback for that.
You know. Well, so I think James said something earlier that I think that we on this. He said that it's not just physical. It's not just the physical act. It's also spiritual and emotional. I think, Dre, that's what you were coming towards there. Second going into Tori as well. I think a lot of it is that we have to, is that in situations like that, it's definitely something more to it. Because again, I don't know. I totally understand as a man, you know, the male ego and wanting to protect that, you know, having that male ego. But I think I would also, as a man, feel some kind of way if I'm recognizing that I've been with my wife for 2 years and not one time orgasm. I would feel like my masculinity would be under extreme attack at that point too.
As you should.
So I would. So I mean, like, you know, y'all, you from my favorite, you know, y'all know my famous saying that my Uncle James told me. So my Uncle James told me when I got married, he said, son, he said, nephew, he said, sometimes if you can't, what he said, if you can't cut the mustard, you got to lick the jar. But either way, they need to leave screaming. I said, yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you, Uncle.
I said, yes,
he's a very wise man.
My uncle said.
He was taught well.
So I again, so as a man,
yeah,
I would feel weird. I would also feel attacked if after 2 years,
yes,
my wife has never had an orgasm.
And I truly wonder what their conversation is like. Like, have they really had the conversation of, look, when I think of intimacy, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I desire. I need you to warm up the car before we driving in it. I wonder if they had that. I also wonder if he's a lower desire person. Because oftentimes we say, you know, high desire, mostly men, but it's not always the case. There's a whole lot of women in these streets, plus 35 with that higher desire. So I wonder, have they really had that conversation with that? Because I'm not going to lie. Once again, I love my wife. I love the queen with all of my heart, mind, and soul. If we've been together for 2 years and I'm only stuck to toys because the queen can't help me get there, that's a rough marriage, dog. That is.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Because it's
you are not lying.
It is nothing like feeling the skin versus you know, you doing some self pleasure. There's nothing like the skin on skin, the intimacy, the breathing, all those things. So she's missing that. And I love how she said, I don't want my husband to look elsewhere for that, and I don't want to either. But how long can we go unhappy in this bedroom?
Yep.
Like, she is crying her heart out to Jesus and to whoever else, like, look here.
Yep. But Tayshia, they did try sex therapy. He said he didn't want to go after the first one.
Yeah.
So that's part of the problem.
That's part of the problem.
So to kind of pivot a little bit, I think part of why I wanted to add, I brought into the second part of the question is about having sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times, you know, even when on the responses of this post was, this is why you have sex before marriage. This is why you have sex before marriage, to try it out before marriage. Because if it's good before, and my thought was, so there's an assumption that if it's good before marriage, it's always going to be good, or if it's going to be good in general. And I have experienced as someone who has counseled many a couple that is not always the case. So I wonder, where do we get this idea that is the case, and if y'all agree with that? Tori, what do you think?
So I read an article from a lady named Emily Nagoski, and basically, long story short, so I won't take up all the time, she basically said a lot of people who have sex before the marriage, before the relationship, before those things, it's that forbidden type, where you're doing it against morals or against clergy, against religion, against whatever. And so libido heightens, everything heightens. It's some of the best ever because it's forbidden. And then you get married, it's no longer forbidden. And so now you got a headache. Now your nose is bleeding, whatever it may be. And I can see how the sex before marriage does feel great. And then when you get married, now you got those responsibilities on top of marriage. You got them kids, that job, whatever your other things are, and how those opportunities are not as great. She also talked about in that article, and I wish I could find it again, how most they get together over the weekend because they have a busy week. And so during that weekend, that's where a whole bunch of stuff go down, and you're feeling that high during that weekend, and you're going with your life for the rest of the week. Once when you're married, you don't have that weekend for that high. You're with them all of the time.
Right,
so,
right.
I could see how the sex before marriage is a great thing, and then once when you get married, it doesn't feel the same, or it doesn't. You're not able to recapture some of those moments as much.
Okay, so now after 20 years, would you recommend the sex before marriage?
Yeah, I would. I really, really would. Depends on your age, depends on your maturity level. Because most times it was the church's plea saying, kids, don't go out there because you're not mature enough to handle the responsibility after you have the sex. You don't know how to pull out. Now you're pregnant, or you do know how to pull out, and now you're sowing seed you're not mature enough because of the soul ties or whatever else. So I do understand why the church has said that. If you are mature enough to handle that, I would say so. And I love Jesus. I do. I know that don't sound like the answer.
But you said that you understand why the church said it, but you didn't say why the Bible says it. So, but I'm getting you either way it goes. Like I said, because that's just
meaning a Bible-based, faith-believing church who doesn't do all of the shenanigans. I get why they say that. I truly, really do. I get why the Bible says don't do that. Flee fornication. I really do. In today's society, are we really willing to learn our partner through marriage?
Why not?
And that's the heart. That's the root. I always talk. To me, that's the root of the question. At 40, if I'm getting remarried, I would not want to remarry a virgin because I wouldn't want to reteach all those steps.
Okay.
I don't think that would bother me.
That would be tough.
I don't think that would bother me because
I'm used to chandeliers, and now we got to do baby steps all over again.
I say that because either way, you're going to have to reteach.
Yeah.
Because there's the reteachings and the retraining doesn't have to stop because of that. Because now you reteaching from whoever they were with previously to you. So that happen. I think now the mental part of it, the getting comfortable with your body and all that kind of stuff, which you won't have to reteach. And Dre, to your point, the part that I think that we do a really bad job of, and this is my pastor hat, the part that I think we do a really bad job of is we tell people don't do it, but we don't tell them the why. And we don't tell them, we tell especially younger people, don't do it, and beat it in them so badly that when it's time to do it, now there's this mental block up that says, wait a second.
Yeah.
And so now I don't know how to relax and enjoy this and see this as as something that is blessed, because we say stuff like, it's a great thing to do, but it's only great in marriage. Yeah. That's not true. It's great, period. It's supposed to, but it's only, we say that it should be done in marriage for ABC reasons. So I think we do a bad job to marriage in general by not giving a bigger, broader example as to why.
The Queen talked about that in one of our podcast episodes. She talked about how her entire life she was told, don't have sex, stay pure, stay pure, stay pure, stay pure. We get married, marriage night is there. And she was like, now how am I supposed to freely give myself when my entire 20 years of my life, 21 years of my life, I've been told not to feel that way.
Absolutely.
And now we're married and I'm supposed to swing. I keep saying swing from the chandelier, metaphorically.
Swing.
I'm supposed to swing from the chandelier now, and so she literally had to fight herself.
Absolutely.
I've been indoctrinated to not, but my husband needs that. Yeah. And so,
this needs to be a fuller conversation about it.
Yeah.
When
Well, see, that's also the thing, even when it comes to oral, and that's why I addressed it in the book, because some people are like we said, if they've been taught this all this time, now what do I do? Is this supposed to be pleasurable? You know, should I be having fun? You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that people have questions about that really the church is not addressing. I'm sorry for laying down, but I told Winfrey I hurt my back earlier, so now I'm having to come this side on here. But that's the situation where people are now. What is right? Should this be fun? Am I going to go to hell for oral? You know what I'm saying? So there are certain things that you know, that are questionable now because they're not being discussed. Even in premarital counseling, some things are not being discussed. And that's why I wrote the book. That's why there's a how-to chapter in here, because you just don't know. Some people just don't know that there is a such thing as not only clitoral orgasms, but vaginal orgasms. There's some you don't even know that even exists. So there's just some things that we just have to learn with our mate, explore, be open. And not everything is not, and everything, God is not just sitting there with a clipboard, you know, checking off, you know, making a list, checking it twice.
Yeah. I sure hope not. Yeah.
Sorry, I just read James' comment. Once you taste the devil's nectar, you're there. Ain't no coming back. We should believe that God could bless you with what you want and need.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could call. I'm not sure which part is the devil's nectar, but I hope we're not referring to orgasms, because that ain't from the devil. I can tell you that.
Oh, God knows it's not.
I'm not sure.
I was about to make a joke. Let me keep moving.
I think we got, again, I think it's just, here's what I read. I read a study that said, interesting enough, that couples, because I was reading a couple of article to find some science. I was trying to find some science to talk about premarital sex and how it relates to divorce. And the article actually says, or the study actually said, because of course there are no studies on men, but for women, women who have premarital sex with 0 partners are least likely to get divorced. Women who have sex with 1 partner is a lot more likely to get, or as likely to get divorced as the woman who has 10 partners. So if you have 0, you're at the lowest. Then it goes to 1, and then 10 and up. And then anywhere between 2 and 9, your numbers go down. So it's like 1, 0.
Interesting.
1, 2 through 9, then 10.
So what I hear based on that small clip of data, the 0, that's all they know. So they're not too quick to jump outside in the ocean again.
Well, so theirs is the research, or the scientists took away that it was the comparison, that the person who had 1, the only person that they had to compare to was the 1 person that they compared to their spouse, their husband with. And if that 1 person was not as good to them or didn't feel as good as their husband, then they were more likely to get divorced.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you had 2, between 2 and 9, then you had multiple people, so you probably experienced some bad and had more things to compare to. And so once you got married, probably like in this article, your expectation was not, bombs bursting in air, because you realized that sometimes it was going to be, So that was what the scientists took away. And I thought that was interesting. And then 10 plus, they just said that they think that it was just obviously because of the amount of partners that you had. So I thought that was interesting. And again, I'm not suggesting what a person should or shouldn't do. I'm just saying, I think that it's really interesting to think about this, both from a scientific standpoint as well as a biblical standpoint, to think like because we were all raised to think that really, I think it comes back to where your heart is, where your mind is, and then how you and your partner engage one another. Because if you engage one another on a deep, intimate level and consistently do it, because I think all of us, we've all been married or are married, you understand that sex changes even in the course of your marriage. So now we have to then continue to relearn each other, what each other likes, be willing to try new things, be willing to, listen to the other person and learn from the other person during the course of the years of marriage. And I think when that, and again, like James said in the comments, think about this not just on a physical level, but as something that's emotional as well as, the day-to-day habits. Dre, you did a thing a couple weeks ago. I remember where you put up a video talking about, because the queen's love language is acts of service, I'm in here cleaning. And you know that if you have an expectation of something, that she has an expectation that, that for her, not expectation, but for her love language, or what activates her, is coming home and seeing the kitchen clean, seeing the cabinets. I said he wiping down cabinets. He must really wanted to go down if bro is wiping down cabinets. So I think that's more of the bigger issue. And yes, I do believe, let me just throw it out there for those who don't want no letters and inboxes. I do believe that the biblical way is right. But I do think that we do a crap job of explaining it. I also am very aware that when this was written, people were starting to have sex at like 13. So I also understand that culturally there are some differences that we have not addressed either.
Yeah. And when they were in those days, everybody had herpes, syphilis, and all of these other things. So it was a way to reduce some of the STDs that were happening in those societies. So it's tough, man.
Yeah.
And I asked that question. I put that question on Facebook, and I got a lot of big eyes. People like, I don't know.
I'm not touching that one, Jay.
Yeah.
What you think, Tori?
Did she freeze on us?
I think so.
Yeah. So let me ask you, yes, no, real big question. If you were the young lady in this situation and you've tried to do everything you can to help the mate, the partner, is this relationship going to continue working for you, or are you reconsidering?
At 2 years, I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep trying because she says, which I don't necessarily believe, in every other area he's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because of that, I'm like we gotta get some help. We gotta work through this.
Yeah.
But
agreed. The 2 years was the deciding factor for me.
Yeah.
Y'all just getting started in this marriage thing.
It's 2 years.
Y'all can push through.
The problem is I'm at 27, and I remember me at 27. Like, bad sex at 27 would have been a problem. So
yeah, it would have been.
So it would have been very hard. Literally hard.
Literally, yeah. I'm about to say that.
Yeah.
And
like, look at here.
It would have been different at 27 to not to do that.
Yeah.
Hard.
Excruciating.
I mean, like, I'd have been on the altar every day. Like, give me the strength.
Father,
my hand. But at some point,
had several conversations. Just that's like when you just need to have that talk. Both of them sit down at the table, have a nice intimate dinner, and just lay it out on the line and discuss, like, this is what I desire when it comes to sex. Can you give this to me? If not, can we explore some alternatives so I can get these desires during sex?
Yeah.
And then vice versa, because I'm sure he's gonna probably have a list too. Because based on the article, he was trying to put her in some yoga positions her body was not ready for. So here are some desires that he needs, and then just talk it out and compromise. And that's where 2 years in a marriage, you're gonna still have to learn to compromise.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now, if we get to 4 years,
yeah. I remember this. Like I said, this has made the rounds in the Scoop group a couple of years ago, And I remember someone saying, like, after year 7, side chick comes in. Like, if this ain't fixed in 7 and we got a really good thing.
Yeah. Which for, and I don't know about you, Tori, but which for me is why, like, in this phase of, like, I am having ample discussions. Like, I'm like, in this phase of my life, I'm so straight up about it. I'm like, hey,
yes,
I need this, and this. You, and I don't want no foolishness. Like, is this a problem? Because if this is a problem, tell me now. I don't care if you're nice about in all them other great areas. I need A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. I need the picture.
Yeah.
I need the, I need the what a wooty woo and the wooty woo and the boop bop shaboom. I need all of that. Can you handle that? And don't hit me with the you a pastor, so you ain't, because no, I wanted probably more because I am. So can you handle that? And if you cannot, let me know now and we can move on.
So you can move around.
So question, I know you said you want to move on. Do you find that both of you all's lists are longer now that you are post 35 versus when you were in your 20s? Like those non-negotiables?
No.
Okay.
No,
my non-negotiable list is simple. I tell you, but you got, listen, for me, emotionally mature. That's number one.
Absolutely.
You have to be emotionally mature. If you're emotionally immature, I can't fool with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to be safe.
And that's what I said in this, but I was like, marriage is for mature people. If we can't really just sit down and talk, compromise, be honest with each other, that is immature, and that we don't need to be together.
Yeah. Okay. And that's me, and that's on the giving and receiving end, because there's some stuff, I mean, like I've been told that I didn't necessarily love to hear about myself, but it's like, hey, that's what you need. Okay, cool. All right. Give me a second to lick my wound, because that kind of hurt. But
yeah, I was gonna say those always sting. Always.
All right, all right, that hurt. All right, now let's go. How you like it? Like this? Okay, got you.
Yeah,
I'm there.
And they should be discussed, like beforehand, because even like in this situation where it's been 2 years now, these things probably should have been discussed and not assumed just because this man has already experienced that he know what he's doing, or just because she's not experienced that she's not willing to learn. So those things are, even though she doesn't have any experience with anybody else, she probably dreamed of this day. So her mind could have probably gone there, especially if she's seen, movies or porn or what, what I'm saying, whatever that could have taken her mind there. Okay, this is what I should be doing. This is what, if she has some type of inkling that, or like I said, she's reading the Zane books, whatever, then these things should be discussed before, even if she said, okay, what, I do want to wait until we're married. Let's discuss this though, and let's discuss what is not acceptable. Like some men might want to, like I said, anal. Some men are not for that. Some men not be like, but I don't like, oh, well, then you need to move around, so it's just things that need to be discussed, so,
absolutely,
everybody should know, like, okay, are you, do you speak into the mic? Do you don't? Okay, if you don't, maybe what I'm saying? These things should be discussed though before.
Let's move on. Let's right. Amen. The Lord,
and if you don't speak into the mic, hey, God bless you, sister.
You are not alone. I'm sorry. I'm a different kind. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, I am too. I mean, but hey, I wrote a book about it. Like, here you go. I mean, because those things are real. We're talking about now. We're talking about 2020. It's like nothing is off the table now. So we need to discuss now what is and what isn't acceptable, what we are and what we are willing to do. Are we willing to be spontaneous and pull over on the side of the highway? We need to discuss these things beforehand. Yes, because if we're not going to be spontaneous and we always got to be missionary, the life be office like that, then, I need to know that we're going to be boring so that I can go ahead and make my list of what I need to do after you go to work, but.
And I think that's why I really felt bad for her, because she had been reading those books, and those books are very colorful. And if you've ever read the Zane book, you've read at least 12 to 13 scenarios that are just mind blowing. And so her expectation and desires going into that relationship was that. And they definitely need to have a conversation. Agreed, Tori.
All right, y'all. Good conversation. We got to go. Tori, real quick, tell everybody where they can get your book.
You know what? Google author Tori Lynn, because I have this online, even on Amazon. But my hashtag is author Tori Lynn. If you Google author Tori Lynn, you can find out all the different links to be able to get the book. In Linktree, you know, Coach Tori Lynn. But I'll also put it in the comment.
All right, cool. Anything either of you got coming up that people need to know about?
I'm just finishing some more classes for my my relationship coaching. So I'm doing some extra classes for that.
All right. So and people can follow you at Tori Lynn on social media?
Author Tori Lynn. Everything is under author Tori Lynn.
All right. Dre, what about yourself?
Yeah, man, appreciate you allowing us to hang out with you again, man. You know, it's always fun, things like that, man. Tori, was such a great conversation, and truly appreciate you all lifting up those things. 2 podcasts out right now. The one for the relationship side is called Still Caking: How to Continue That Romance and that loving post X amount of years of marriage. You can find that on YouTube. That is also in the comments. I'll throw it in the comment section for you. It's more educational, and it's called See What Had Happened. And that's where we just talk and we share some educational stories. My wife and I are both teachers and educators. And so we share those educational stories from the good, the bad, and everything in between. And you can also find those on YouTube as well.
Cool. So I haven't posted it yet, but I am about to launch within the next day. We're going to do a night of relationships. So we just did our money night. So we're going to do a night of relationships with me and a small group of people. And I'm gonna get me a couple of people to do this with me. We're gonna sit and talk about all things relationships. And so tonight we went, I would say this was probably PG-13, maybe. I think that night we going X. So I want to talk everything from toys to taboo to everything. So maybe I'll get Tori and Dre, y'all come to help me. But we're gonna talk about all things relationships. So it's not gonna be free. But y'all sign up and join us. Join me for all things relationships. So you got to go to my Facebook page, my public figure page, Winfred Burns' second page, and you'll see it under events. I'm going to launch it probably in the morning, and so get your tickets because it's going to be limited seating. It's just going to be a few of us in the room, and we're going to talk about everything. So other than that,
do you have a date set on that yet?
It's going to be April that Friday is April the 3rd, I think is what I said. Is that Friday?
Pull this up right now and block that time off.
April 2nd, Friday, April 2nd, in the evening,
Friday
night. So grab your wine or whatever you do and come and join us. We're gonna have a good conversation. So, I'll put that in the comments as well. But thank you, Tori, for being here. I appreciate you, and I hope your back feels better very, very soon.
Thank you.
As always, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate both of you all. Y'all go and buy Tori's book. Y'all follow Dre. Follow his YouTube channel, both of his YouTube channels. Really, really good content from both of them. And of course, they're both speakers. So if you need speakers at your next conference or convention on relationships or education, or you can call both of them because they both talk about relationships. Dre talks about education as well too. So y'all book them, pay them, book them. So
don't forget Money Mentor.
Absolutely.
Come on now, Money Mentor.
Y'all follow Money Mentor as well.
Let's go.
I got some new stuff coming. So y'all keep your eye out. I got new coaching programs launching very, very, very soon. So good show tonight. Thank y'all for all the listeners. We have some new listeners. I appreciate you all. If you have not liked the Scoop page, please do that so you can get notified anytime we have something going on. Again, it's at Real Scoop Show on Facebook, and it is the Scoop Show on YouTube. Make sure you follow us want to appreciate every new person that we have tonight, and we appreciate every single comment. A lot of shows look at success by how many people watch. I look at how many people comment, because the more are, the better it is for us, because we are all really trying to learn. So we're learning from one another. So I appreciate y'all. Again, I really, really appreciate you. We're going to have another great show next week with more great guests. So y'all make sure y'all come back next Tuesday, same time, same station. We're going to have more great conversation around relationships and how we can become better with and for one another. So y'all have a good night.
Shout out to Q and Kelly. We miss you all.
Absolutely. To my Q's and my Q.
Yeah, Q and Kel.
Hope y'all feel better. Oh, that's the wrong song. That's not the one I wanted right there. So, definitely shout out to Q and Kel, my co-host. I hope you all feel better. Where's my song? Hold on. Here we go. There we go. That's the wrong song anyway. No, that's the right song.
You don't even want love. Don't tell me if you could just give it, but you just spend it while you stand.
Go ahead, break it down. Go ahead, Whipper. Go ahead, break it down.
You just have to get the voice. It's just the voice. I can't dance.
So I try to keep it low, knock me to the floor, cause I don't know how to ease. Would you believe this love is forever? And would you take this long to and pull it together? Baby, if this is God, I want one last try. You just can't give up. Can't you see the tears in my eyes? Cause I'm gonna try. Baby, I'll treat you right. Just give me one more try. If this is goodbye, if this is goodbye.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Hey, man, good job tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Anytime. It's as simple as a call, man.
I really appreciate you, though.
You had a great time. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, I love
it.
Uh-oh.
So I try to keep it low and knock me to the floor, cause I don't wanna cry no tears.